Hi, I'm Bryan Fuller, executive producer and adapter of the comic book, The Amazing Screw-On Head.
And I'm Chris Prynoski, and I was the director of this here pilot. And we're sitting here watching it, just like you are.
And we're going to talk about it as we watch it. So the fun of this opening sequence was really inspired by the last few pages of the comic book, where instead of revealing the history of the Amazing Screw-On Head, Mike Mignola decided to show us 3 horrible old women and a monkey. And one of the women was a werewolf. And
look, she's a werewolf now. You can see her.
And there she is. So I thought it would be fun if 2 of those horrible old women and the monkey were Emperor Zombie's henchmen and had an active role in the show.
There's Scharnhorst. That's one of the characters that the new characters that Mike had some specific new designs for, and had some pretty cool ideas. Hey, look at that. He's gonna shoot. They shooting him. Oh man.
This there was a lot of stuff with the teaser that we actually cut out and reconnoitered a bit after the initial screening of it to the studio. It was like, we don't know what the hell's going on.
Oh.
There's like werewolves and shit. It's crazy.
I'm sorry, I have to say something about the old woman's naked butt here. Bryan initially thought the design, her butt looked too much like a muscular man's butt. So we changed it to look more like an old woman's butt.
You got to be anatomically correct, and that business would be sagging by now.
And here we go. Here's our circle wipe.
We got to shout out to the sound designers, especially after the chug 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 of the evil skull balloon, because the sound designers did an amazing job with this show.
Absolutely.
It's very intense. Chris designed this title sequence, which summed up the show. We were jostling it about initially starting the show with it, and then we thought, well, let's put it after the teaser. It just gives you like, this is what the show's about, just in case you're confused by robots, werewolves, and zombies.
That's actually the second main title that we did. I wonder if the original one will be included on the DVD.
Look for it in
Who
the
can
extras.
know?
Maybe it'll be an Easter egg.
Richard Pose helped me out with the art on that, just to give a shout out to him.
Pierre Politiano's name just came up for the music. He did a fantastic job, and actually, he ordered bid on a theremin from eBay that was constructed out of a Star Trek lunchbox.
Yeah,
and so
it was awesome.
He would charge it up and perform. That was Susan Norkin's name, who just came by, and she was the producer on the show and instrumental in making the trains run on time. And
yeah, she kept me moving, that's for sure.
I was Jason Netter, who originally got the rights to the show, and he was the first one who said, hey, I think this should be animated, and we should bring this to life. So Jason is the one to thank for setting this all in motion.
Yeah, now you can look at a funny and weird cartoon because of him.
This is, if you look at the comic book, you'll see that a lot of these shots are pulled directly out of the show. And actually, at the beginning of this, we had a lengthy conversation on what to do about Screw-On Head's mouth, if it should move, or how articulate it should be, since he is a robot. So there was much discussion about that, and we went.
There's a shot that was pulled from the comic.
Oh yeah. You should just interject those.
I shall.
So if you haven't noticed by now, Screw-On Head is voiced by none other than Paul Giamatti, who was a big fan of the comic book and Mike Mignola in general, as we all were. And Mr. Groin is voiced by comedian Patton Oswalt, who actually is the voice that is the biggest departure from their real-life persona. For me.
Yeah. Patton did an awesome job. He did a couple voices on this.
He did a few. He came in flip-flops and did his business and got out of there.
This sequence coming up here, I know we added during the animatic stage, because we were on the boards for such a long bit of dialogue. It played really slow, I thought. So we came up with this kind of like a surreal graphic sequence to describe Emperor Zombie's past.
Well, that was one of like just to blow some sunshine up Chris's asses. Asses, you have two now.
Hey,
someone tore you an
you
extra
didn't know?
one.
Apparently you did.
So Chris like had all these great inspirations whenever the script dragged. And
Another shot from the comic.
This is the first time I've ever done anything animated. I'm used to like doing live action stuff. So there was a learning curve.
From the comic. I'll stop that now.
No, every time. From the comic.
Yeah.
There was a big learning curve for me. So whenever dialogue went on too long or was too wordy, Chris came up with a fantastic device that illustrated what was going on screen. So it made the dialogue a little more penetrable for the audience.
Nice penetrable with my two asses. Something dirty's going on. So speaking of stuff from the comic, this sequence was not from the comic. You could thank Antonio Canobio, our incredible background designer, for coming up with some of this badass background work in here.
You may notice that this is Molly Shannon, who is voicing Patience, and she was absolutely fantastic. We got to see her on video screen on a feed from LA when she was doing it, and she couldn't have been a better sport, and really one of my favorite vocal performances of a group of really fantastic vocal performances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to say, we were lucky. I mean, everybody just knocked it out of the park. All the voices were awesome. We got a great cast. I mean, who would have thought we would get this good of a cast for a pilot? I mean, it was incredible.
This was actually the first footage that we got back. Was the next minute and a half of screen time.
Let's see that. Look at that. What a tender moment. Oh, it's so tender. So ever tender. Oh, no. Oh, my God. It was ruined by that vampire bat guy. At one point, it was two guys. Yeah, and then his design got condensed into one guy. I think it works better.
It totally works better as one guy. And there was, in the script, he was the vampire bat, and then he turned into a regular vampire, and then Emperor Zombie staked him. And a lot of the trims came out of the storyboard sequences where we were just like, oh, it's going on for a lot longer now than it needs to be.
I wonder if there will be the original unedited storyboard on the DVD extras.
I hope so.
Who knows?
It's good business.
Look at that animated cleavage. You know they like to animate that.
In Korea?
Yeah. At DR Movie in Korea, which is where the animation was done. I think they did an incredible job of rocking it. You know, we did all our pre-production here. The storyboards. I have to give a shout out to Kelsey Mann and Juno John Lee for helping me rock the boards. And additional boards and animation were done over at DR Movie, and they rocked the house.
I have to also do a shout out to my agent, Ari Greenberg, who was the first person to suggest Paul Giamatti as Screw on Head, and was instrumental in us getting him.
Yeah. I should give a shout out to your agent as well then.
Thanks, Ari Greenberg.
Yes.
Bok, bok.
Multiple shouts out.
And this is actually my favorite scene in this pilot. And guess what I was doing when I wrote it?
Obviously hanging out in a giant hookah.
A memory hookah.
Yeah. With a zombie and two women and a monkey.
Professor keeping Gung's secrets all to himself. There's only one way to truly know everything.
The sound design on this was pretty fun with the flies and keeping the flies alive. And every time Zombie's expression changes, you hear this like dry, twisty, leathery sound. And every time Screw on Head's expression changes, you hear like a clink or a zip or a zap from what the sound designers were doing. They really performed at the top of their game.
Absolutely. And I'll give a shout out to Dave Stewart, the guy who did the color models as well. He did the color models for the comic, and when we were trying to come up with guys to do color models for the show, we were like, well, why don't we just get the guy who did the comic? And he was available, and I think he did an awesome job.
It's actually a little joke.
I like this guy. This guy always plays really well to me. It's a good act break. Really good act break there.
Zombies.
This sequence, I have to give one of the board artists that we handpicked for this was Kelsey Mann, who has a really good sense of light and shadow. And really, I think this scene plays really well because of that. I like this whole silhouette sequence. He came up with this silhouette staging right here. I think it's really true to Mike Mignola's style.
Absolutely. And also must shout out. There's a lot of shout outs.
We're just shouting out.
We're detergent.
Yeah.
Corey Burton voiced Abraham Lincoln, and he also voiced the Dung Beetle brothers who were inside the mummy that got
and the
burned up.
demigod.
And he's a demigod yet
he
to
did
come.
a bunch of good voices and a bunch of those like Prussian guards. He was a ton of guys.
Oh shoot! We forgot to call out your Prussian guard.
Oh well.
There you go. At the very beginning, the Prussian guards. That was Chris.
Right on. Oh, and here we go. The plot thickens.
Now this, like in the comic book, was all took place in the Muswam Valley. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but we thought since the whole show is about kind of the secret history of America, that we kind of needed to plant it in America's backyard in the Mississippi and just make it a little more about the United States and what went on before we came here and killed all the Indians.
And it's good and bizarre that it takes place in the United States, that this exists underneath the Mississippi River, I think. When I read it, I was like, oh, it makes sense in this world. That's good and weird.
And the Geraldine and Aggie, who are the two old lady henchwomen, are voiced by Mindy Sterling, who you may recognize as Frau Farbissina from
Austin Powers movies.
Austin Powers.
Right on. And
this is Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, Patton did this as well. Who you wouldn't guess it, would you, fans of Patton Oswalt? All right. I like how this gag plays out too. This is one of those ones. It's just he knew exactly. I mean, David Hyde Pierce always knew exactly how to read the line.
And we should shout out to Colette Sunderman, who was our voice director.
Yeah, and casting too. You know, she did a great job wrangling this one.
Yeah. They were
all over the place, man. She worked hard for her money on this show.
we all flew out to New York to record the voices with David Hyde Pierce and Paul Giamatti, and that day was a ball.
Yeah, that was a ton of fun.
Monkeys and guns are always a good thing.
This scene initially played out twice as long. He had a big long shooting sequence, and then another Russell and another big long shooting sequence. That's the kind of thing when you're editing stuff down for TV, you have to make these choices of what's going to play in a 22-minute format. And you know, I think a lot of times the show is better for it because
Jason Netter's favorite pose.
Jason Netter's favorite shot.
That's his hero
for
shot.
calling that out. That was his favorite shot. Whew. I almost went off on too big of a tangent there. Thank you for calling that out. Jason made us promise to call out his favorite pose, and there it was. Very heroic. And there's also an additional music sting on that pose. You should rewind it and watch it again because it's so awesome. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. I do think it is actually awesome.
One of the things that we joked about a lot during production of this, or when it was being assembled, was which 3 action figures would you choose from this show?
It's a tough one.
It's a hard call, but there's so many good choices, and we all want action figures really bad.
Yeah,
so.
and you know, some of them maybe I don't know if it's cheating. Like, do you get like
comic
the
book
sidekick with one? Yeah, from the comic. I stopped doing that a while ago. You know, does you know, any one of them come with Ricky or something? Because that's a consideration.
I think Geraldine should come with Ricky.
Yeah, because then, you know, you get 2 for 1. And I would probably get Ricky by himself. But if he comes with Geraldine, it's a no-brainer.
And I want Patience in vampire form and as a little bat in a cage.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, you want Screw-On Head in this crazy, like, spider robot body, which we've hinted at. You saw in the little shadows during a pan in the beginning, but the scene hasn't come up yet, where he really goes to town in that body.
You mean that big magical thing you used
with those flies? Well, a lot of retakes on those flies. That's one of the things that initially I wasn't very happy with, and we had to keep redoing the flies. So I hope you appreciate them
They were very small and gnat-like initially.
Yeah, it was more like gnats. We're like, they have to be flies, obviously.
They got plumper and juicier, and this is Chris's favorite character.
Yeah, exactly. And that shot, I might as well mention, is out of the comic. And, yeah, I really dig him. He's a good, kind of like a paradox of a character, this big beast thing with this kind of like regal accent. And, he's very gentlemanly when he's discussing stuff with zombies. Good and silly.
And this is Corey Burton. And initially, when we recorded this voice, I had always had it in my mind that we were going to either pitch shift it or do something to enhance it. And then it just Corey's performance was so
we didn't
great.
Need to.
I can't allow that.
Bah! You are an irritant to me.
Nice. And look, he is now smashed. What's he gonna do? What's Groenhead gonna do now?
He needs help.
Yeah.
Who's going to help him?
Who can know this?
So there's
like this little bit of acting in here. It's good. The voice act. It's always great as an animation director when the voice acting and the animation acting line up. Because sometimes you have like, oh, that line was read really well. Animation didn't really sell it, didn't really line up, or vice versa, where, not in the case in this show, but where your voice performers aren't that great and the animation's awesome. This really vibes. You really are sold that the character on screen is a character, I think.
Yes.
in
Well,
that scene.
that's it's a nice juxtaposition because his voice is so whimsical, and the animation is so dark that you really don't get the full picture until you see both of them in synchronicity.
In synchronicity.
Uh-oh.
Do a little retake on that shot. Every time I look at these, I can think about the process of going through each shot and fixing and changing and noodling and looking at the storyboard panel and this and that and everything.
We like when Mr. Dog is actually a taxidermied dog, a three-legged taxidermied dog. So whenever he's shot, he's actually draining sand, and so we had to be very careful.
Real challenge to pull off sand in this style. We relied a lot on the audio guys to help us sell that.
It marks the end of amazing.
He looks like a monkey there.
He does.
Your petty vengeance fetish will have to do without.
The whole like vengeance fetish, and there's love triangles going on. There's a definite homoeroticism to Screw on Head.
Absolutely.
Mr. Groin and Emperor Zombies fetish to kill all the manservants, and there's love triangles abound, and they're not restricted to the likes of heterosexuality.
I was always very happy with how the sequence played out too. The music, the sound design, that was an ad lib, by the way, by David Hyde Pierce.
Oh, not the face?
The not the face thing. That always plays funny.
This was one of my favorite pieces of that Pierre Paulo composed for the score. It was very much captured the tone of the show, and that you hear the theremin.
Yeah, it's got a lot. It's got a lot doing.
The little bongos.
Yes.
We cut a little bit out of this fight sequence just to get it down to time too, because there was at one point the Burly Crab was running around, climbing on the demigod's back.
Yeah, just more business, more fighting, more cool fighting for the kids to look at. And now it's pretty simple.
If you look closely, like at that explosion, you saw the crab body shoot off screen, which was a note that we got. That how does that come back later?
I love that sound design there when everything gets sucked up into the turnip thing. Turnip, right? Turnip.
The turnip dimension.
Yeah, turnip dimension. Uh-oh. And if you look closely, it looks like Mr. Groin's going to say fuck here. See? Uh-oh, something bad. Oh, bad stuff. Yeah. Oh, I did, didn't I?
Yes.
Oh, my God, I didn't even think about it.
Dirty bird.
Alrighty.
So this sequence, like, we actually had to go back a couple times to get the color timing right because it needed to be twilight, so you could see Patience later and she wouldn't be bursting into flame.
Exactly,
so
she is a vampire.
We had to be true to that. And this also, that's Mr. Gung, who is the new representative from the Paleolithic era. But when we first saw him, it's like, who's that guy with the ears, and why is he coming out of the water? And the show moves so quickly that we had to go back and put in like people's names, so you knew who they were.
Yeah, the editing of an animated show is also really different and important. With live action, you have footage that you cut together. In animation, you're largely building this in the animatic stage, building a storyboard. So our animatic editor, Damon Yaches, is very instrumental in the pacing, the initial pacing of the show. And then when we get the footage back, our final picture editor, David Foster, is instrumental in trying to get things to work. And because there's no additional footage, he has to kind of come up with whatever, shortcuts and ways to fit it together.
He did a fantastic job.
Yeah, both of them.
This is another device that Chris threw in just to help clarity. And also, like, there's so much that I learned about animation in terms of you can't be too wordy with it and you can't be too subtle. So there was a lot that I felt that Chris really elevated the script in a lot of ways, because there were so many things that happened that weren't on the page that he brought to the forefront to
thanks,
clarify
mister.
things.
Well, I couldn't have done it without a great script to bring to life.
I'm going to kiss you.
There you go, the Homestead Act.
So,
it's all because of Screw On Head.
We're here in California because of Screw On Head.
Exactly. Look, and initially this shot had the flag coming straight out of the top of his head. We had to fix that.
All these people are fantastic.
Yep.
And
look
we
at them
adore
all.
them. That David Foster guy, he banged this out in the editing bay.
Absolutely. Yay. Hooray. Look.
Thanks for watching Screw On Head.
Oh, there's still more cards.
And scene.